What's on my mind, everybody? Well, welcome back. It's torbray, of course. And I wanted to talk about trains. Sounds really, really bad, but yesterday I caught two trains. My first ever two trains, and I want to talk about my experiences with trains from someone who's just taken like two of them, right? And this is particularly for New Zealand because I don't know how the UK trains go. I know how the US trains go, which you have to get like the ticket. You have to get the ticket before boarding the train. But New Zealand trains are different, so I wanted to talk about like someone who's just new and took them. So just a bit of context, I caught a train to go to work experience. So I don't live in the central city at the moment, so I caught a train to go to the central city, do some work in a cafe, some work experience. Learned it was a great time. Learned a lot of processes. Learned how to make coffee like industrially. I mean, I knew how to with like the machines, but I wanted to learn the processes. And then after that, I took a train home. So it was a total of about 5 hours. And then I waited around for maybe half an hour, maybe 40 minutes or so. Like for the trains, I had about 20 minutes per train, so that's about an hour and a half, and then had lunch, waited around, and then now I have my 2 hours. So yeah, that's the context. I went to Central City, work experience, came back. Now, the first time I ever caught the train, so New Zealand trains, how it works is you just board the train. You board the train with cash, the conductor comes along, the conductor says, hello, where are you going? And you either show them a like 10-day ticket or like a golden oyster card. No, what's it called? The golden card, which is for the elderly who get like the benefits of being able to use public transport for free, which is really, really good in New Zealand. Or you pay with cash, like right there to the conductor. It's super simple. But I've never caught a train before because I've never had to, because I used to live in the central city. So yeah, my experience was I went down to the train station and I sat there and I wanted to board the train, and yeah, I waited a little bit longer because I was a little bit delayed. I kind of left the house a little bit later than I expected, so I waited around for the next train. Now, when the train did come along, I was super nervous because I've never boarded a train before. Found a seat. I must say the trains are very luxurious, and it's really nice to look out the window and everything looks rather beautiful. It's all crazy. And then after that, I was just sitting there, like, heart pumping. If you follow my Twitter, I was just more nervous than actual YouTuber events where I could, like, die in, like, a single movement. The conductor comes along, and she's like, hello, where are you going? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to this place. And, yeah, she could tell I was nervous, but she was really nice. I think the conductors do a very good job with asking for money, because you could easily rush people in between train rides. But with my two experiences of conductors, I think they did very well, and they are very well organised. And then after that, you sit in a seat. You either sit in a seat going forward, or a seat facing backwards, or a seat facing this side. And I was just looking out, and this is beautiful, you know, looking at New Zealand and all the green parts. And went over a river, and yeah, it's really beautiful. I really like watching the scenery go outside. Also like see the trains go past the cars. Okay, so a bit of context. In America, I know that in New York, the trains are underground. It's known as the metro. Or otherwise, I think there are other trains which are above ground, but they're never in like central cities. I think New Zealand's kind of blessed in that our trains are actually like over the ground all the time, right? I think that's super awesome. So I got to see all the scenery. I got to see like the central city as we went in. Super neat. And then yeah, pretty easy. When I went back to the train station in the central city to catch the Sega bus to get back home, caught the train as usual. Yeah, I caught it during peak hours, and I think they do a very good job of it. They leave the trains there for anyone who wants to catch like the train and go to the train straight away. I think it eases congestion, so the trains remain there until it's their time to leave. I think they are there like 10 or 15 minutes before 10 minutes before they have to leave. So like during the peak hours when everyone's finishing work, they just go to the train and they wait on the train. So it's like heaps of seats. It took me a while to find out because the train was... Oh, the train finished early and it was different to the normal trains just because it was peak hour. I didn't know what the train was called, but yeah, I found it. Caught the train. Still like the same thing, really easy. Conductor was super nice and awesome looking at the scenery. And then it started smelling like smoke. And I'm like, what? Why was it smelling like smoke? And it, like, well, you learnt it later down, but the brakes apparently were causing a lot of smoke and they were smoking the compartments. Dear. We had to wait 10-15 minutes for that to clear up, but I think they did a good job with it, and the train was definitely a lot faster from walking from where it broken down back to my place. Yeah, it was the first and second time I ever caught a train. Second time it kind of broke down. Both times I was super nervous. From someone who's never used the train before, it was super convenient. I think for you UK and US people, you need to pay for your own ticket, like at the ticket booth before boarding the train, which I can kind of understand because your trains are a lot more crowded, whereas our conductor can walk like through the boxcars and ticket people. So that's one thing. It's just because New Zealand, there's like not enough people to like justify ticket booths, so the conductors can just walk up and down the train, which is super neat. I like that a lot. It's a lot more intimate as well. And it's also awesome that you can board the train and you can pay by cash on the train instead of the ticket booth. Imagine you had a line at the ticket booth and then suddenly the train comes along. It's like, oh, imagine like you're running a little bit late and you're rushing and then you have to go get a ticket and then the train comes along and then you miss it because you're purchasing a ticket. That would be insane. People have to go to work. But I do want to use the train a lot more because it is very convenient for getting into the central city. It's a very good modem of transport because they're like, comparing it to a bus, the bus is like a little bit more luxurious, but you have to wait at like traffic lights and it basically just stops every now and then. And whereas with a train it just continues and it's a lot faster than cars in my opinion. I mean it does have to stop at certain stations, but it's really nice just to stop and then you watch the scenery go out. And also the train is super cheap as well at a certain time. So currently as I record this, it'd be, I don't know what it is in US, maybe $3.50 or something for a train ride, like a 1 day one, like one ride. I mean I don't know what it is for 10 days. For peak hours it was, for peak hours I don't know in US, 480 ish, less, 450, 480, I don't know. And for UK, right now it would be £1.75 and peak hours would be £2.75. Yeah, I think it is super cheap. I really like it. And the government pays for the trains a lot, even like a lot of subsidies. So I really like how the elderly can use their golden cards to not pay. That is super cool. Because if I become an elderly of New Zealand, I would love not having to pay for public transport and never having to worry about that again. Yeah, but I do like trains a lot more. But buses have a lot more convenience on like how many more routes there are to go. I mean, whereas a bus can, well, it depends on the bus, but the buses are generally more cheaper as well, although they are a little bit later. I think that's about it for me thinking about trains, but it was very convenient. What are your trains like? That is my question to you guys. What are your trains like? I would love to know. Thank you guys for listening. This actually has to go out in maybe half an hour. If I want to go claim it was today, if I'm doing a daily vlog thing, and like 30 minutes for British time stuff. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for listening. That was just my experiences as a first train goer. I don't know what to call this. Thank you guys. See you next time.